Minister, I might start with you. If you would maybe give us an overview of what is the mining situation in Uganda. How's it look? What's the future looking like, and where's it fit into the super region?
Thank you very much. Uganda started mining in the early 60s until there was some disruption where the mining activities went down. But the country has great mineral potential, as you will be in the map, which will be demonstrated by my commissioner. We are lucky. Uganda is in the middle of East Africa. You will find all the countries around us are peeping towards us. And since geology does not know the boundaries, what you see in the DRC, which has just joined, some of those minerals are found in Uganda. If you look at in Tanzania, they are also leaking there. If you find they are in Kenya, they are also in Uganda. So we are surrounded, we are lucky, we are just in the middle. So we have made a lot of discoveries, and then of course we have not done a lot of exploration because of financial resources. And also, we were trying to put our legal framework properly so that it's friendly to those you collaborate with. When you come there, you will read the laws, and the laws go for the good of a win-win situation, in fact. So when you come there and say, this is what you are all, this is what you are all, we are protecting you here. Sometimes you will find we are also, as a company of Uganda, which we have, partnering, but with a little percentage in order to protect our partners. So when we have come here, we shall be saying we're a nascent country beginning to develop. And now I'm very happy that we have come to this country, which is saying we belong now to a super region together, which means you could now go there and set foot there, and then we do some beneficiation to a certain stage, and then you bring it here for further management of the mineral resource. So when you will now be seeing from our map, you will exactly see the locations in the country, and then you see what type of minerals that you want to deal with. So whereas we are saying we must work with the international community, and we are very happy to be here so that you see us as we are. We appear when we talk, but now you will see the locations and everything else. And this will be done by my technical person, the commissioner of the geological surveys and licensing of the country. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
So Vincent is the commissioner.
Vincent, thank you. Have you got a presentation that you wanted to show us?
Yes, I do have a presentation, and I'd request that you allow me to stand so that I can take the audience through.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Since you are fit, you stand.
Thank you. Please allow me to stand over here and present. This one. Okay. So I'll be presenting the investment opportunities in Uganda's mining sector. And just as the background, you can see our mineralization is categorized into 3 broad categories: the metallic mineral resources, majority of which compose the critical minerals that we're discussing in this forum. So we have those. You can see beryllium, bismuth, copper, carbon and tartalite, chromium, gold, iron, lead, lithium, manganese, the platinum group of metals, rare earth elements, importantly, tin, uranium, wolfram, and zinc. In the industrial minerals categories, we have bentonite, clay, diatomite, dimension stones, feldspar, glass sands, graphite, gypsum, kaolin, kyanite, marble or limestone, mica, phosphate, pozzolana, salt, talc, and vermiculite. We also have some gemstones, as you can see, emerald, aquamarine, morganite, corundum, to mention but a few. In terms of localities, you can see nearly all of the country is mineralized. You can see the yellow dots, which are common, are gold. You can see the legend there, the beryl, columbite, tantalite, copper, gold, iron ore, tin, wolfram are the common metallic minerals. And of course, the clay minerals are there as well. So like the Honorable Minister said, we have the comparative advantage of being in the middle of all the mineral-rich areas. And so we are also equally endowed enormously. So in terms of investment opportunities, you can see in the precious metals categories, we have opportunities in gold, silver, platinum, and they occur in many regions of the country. In terms of iron ore, we have so many localities. In the western part of the country, confirmed resources stand in the regions of 200 million tons, and in the eastern part, about 100 million tons in form of magnetite. In the west, there is hematite, and then in the east, we have magnetite. And the estimated resources are in excess of 1 billion tons. And then rare earth elements, we have potential in southwest Uganda, in the pegmatites, in the carbonatites in the eastern part of the country. And then there is a very, very huge discovery of rare earth elements, which has reached feasibility stage in the eastern part of the country in aluminous clays in an area called Makutu. And this one is going into mine development stage and potentially sourcing for funders to progress it further. But already the feasibility is done, and huge resources of rare earth elements in easily leached clays exist. In base metals, we have copper, cobalt. If you're aware, from the 1960s onwards, we've been mining copper. Like the minister said, we had some disruptions, but we are resuming. We still have deposits of copper in the country. It's associated with cobalt, lead, zinc. We also have several locations of lithium in many parts of the country, and right now there's a lot of interest. And we welcome additional investors to invest in this particular mineral. Platinum group metals also occur in many parts of the country. In terms of tin, 3 Ts, that is tin, tantalite, and tungsten, we also have them in the southwestern part and central parts of the country. Industrial minerals exist almost entirely across the entire country. Importantly, we also have uranium, and so far we have identified 10 targets, which we have not done extensive exploration on. We've just done surface studies. We're yet to do drilling to progress these 10 targets to something meaningful for investment. We are here discussing critical minerals. So in terms of critical minerals, we are endowed with the majority of them. In fact, every time I look at a list of critical minerals, or what people term as critical minerals, especially for energy transition, I look at my country as one of the ones which have almost nearly all of them. And so we have, you can see manganese in a place called Chenjojo to the west of the country, 3 Ts and lithium in Mubende area. We have graphite, huge reserves of graphite in the northern part of the country. In the eastern, we have carbonatites, which are very rich in rare earth elements. In the southern, we have aluminous clays, very rich in rare earth elements. In the western part of the country, or southwestern part, we have the 3 Ts, tin, tungsten, and tantalite, and lithium in several locations within the pegmatites. We have copper in Kilembe mines and lead in the western part. Now, a number of these projects, we have some few areas we have done feasibility studies, but a number of them also require additional studies, especially detailed drilling. So, in terms of lithium-ion batteries, those are the minerals that Uganda has. In terms of capacitors, electrical grids, we have those, copper, iron ore, aluminum. Permanent magnets, we have nickel, cobalt, and aluminum also. Copper is there, silver is there, which can be used for solar panels and so forth. Because this is critical minerals for energy transition, we also have geothermal resources, especially in the western part of the country. We have part of what we call the western arm of the East African Rift Valley system, which has a lot of, you can say, surface manifestations for geothermal, hot springs, geysers, and so forth. And so we are currently trying to do detailed studies in 4 of them so that they can be able to be used as alternative sources of electricity generation as well as other direct uses, like, for example, spas, floriculture, heating, and so on. So allow me also to discuss about some of the incentives that you get when you come to Uganda as a country. We have streamlined procedures and guaranteed protection of investors against appropriation. In Uganda, you can be able to own, as an individual or a company, 100% of a business, and we also allow you to repatriate all your profits. Import taxes such as customs duty for all mining equipment, all processing equipment is zero rated. So usually when you bring in equipment, we do not charge you any customs duties. And of course, we have good governance and security. There are good laws. We have recently enacted them. I heard South Africa saying they had second to none, but I can also tell you Uganda is one such country which has very good laws. Also, joint ventures are possible. There are those who have already progressed their projects to some stage, and they're willing to partner with other potential investors to take the projects to higher stages. In terms of licenses, let me quickly just go through this. To enter into the country, to do any kind of mining, you need to have a prospecting license, which is for 1 year. You need an exploration license to do exploration. The first one is not area specific, just allows you to move around the country to look for potential areas where you can apply for an exploration license. And we usually grant it for 4 years, renewable once for 3 years. We allow you to retain the area. For some reason, during exploration, you are unable to conclude something and you need some additional period, we have a retention license. After that, you mine, you can go to a mining license. So these are the mining licenses. The first two categories are for partnerships and foreign companies, as well as locals, if possible. So large-scale mining licenses are for those investments which are higher than $100 million. We use capital investment thresholds as to categorize these licenses. And so if to fall under a large-scale mining license, you'd have to have an investment in excess of $100 million. To fit in the medium-scale category, you'd have to have investments between 300,000 USD to $100 million. And then this small-scale mining license is exclusively for Ugandan citizens, small-scale and artisanal mining licenses, therefore largely artisanal and small-scale miners. And then we also have a license regulated under the mining sector for geothermal resources. We categorize it also as a mineral. Other licenses for mineral dealing, for those who want to buy and sell minerals, mineral processing, mineral smelting, and mineral refining. Then we have several permits: blasting, import, export, movement, research, sample export, as well as certificates, surrender, amalgamation, and so forth. So with that, I'd like to welcome you to Uganda. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you very much. As of now, before we do all these things, we are already environmental, climate friendly. Our sources of energy are from the hydros. There's a lot of water there. You have seen, I think one of the biggest freshwater lakes is in Uganda. So we use hydros. When you come there, I think there's very little use of fossil oil for generating electricity. We used to have only some standby generators in case something went wrong. Otherwise, all the power comes from the hydros. Little use of enough of our solar systems, though we have a lot of power. In the future, those who want to come and also do that, they are most welcome. Thank you very much.
That's great. Ibrahim, you're senior investment manager. So what's it look like? What's the profile look like for investors coming into Uganda? We've seen a bit of the requirements that need to be gone through to get an exploration license and convert that to a mining license. But give us a bit more meat on that bone.
Thank you so much. So Uganda is a beautiful destination for money on two fronts. As the Commissioner emphasized, we are free market. There are no capital controls at all. A foreigner can hold 100% of a company, but that extends to every aspect of the economy. We are a free market economy. Prices are fully determined by market forces. currency has nothing like tied to a fixed peg of something. Our currency is very free floating. And over the years, the country has been able to attract capital in many areas. But specifically now, we'd like to exploit our natural resources. So this is more of a call for long-term capital. And we believe that we are positioned both at a macro level, policy and political level, to attract capital, in a sense that we proved ourselves to always be very, very friendly to investors. There could be some simple indicators as well in terms of where the country is. If you look at the country, as the Commission and the Minister emphasized, it has attracted many refugees or people from neighbors, neighbor countries where there could be issues. You could see that Uganda has a dominance of Ethiopians, Eritreans, Burundians, Congolese, Somalis. That is just a story about how the country is very welcoming. Yeah? So in essence, if a country that's not very much rich in terms of economic resources today is able to look after its neighbors, it means that we can attract people who want to bring in money and support them and live with them. We are a friendly country in a sense. So all that flows through in terms of what we do. So it has been emphasized at this forum that the issue about Africa is about the risk attachment to it. Yeah? Everyone sees it with a higher risk rating. So the idea is, as a country, we are trying to de-risk in a sense that, as part of the slide showed, where there is case to have partnerships with locals to help de-risk these projects is where we want to come in. All structures in the country, such as pension funds, long-term investors like the local development banks, want to partner with the investors in a sense to give some sort of comfort as a form of de-risking. So I want to emphasize that the country is beautiful, beautiful weather, beautiful people, as you saw in the slides, in the video earlier, but as well, beautiful macro conditions and environment. Yeah.
Ali, and this is where you might, if those don't speak Arabic, Ali is going to answer this question in Arabic, so you may want to use your headset. Ali, I'm impressed that in the context of our discussion about the super region and the Kingdom's interest in providing facilitation for the super region, I'm impressed that Uganda has appointed you as their representative here. So, what was it about Uganda? You're a Saudi citizen, but you represent Uganda. What was it about Uganda that is attractive to you as a destination for investment? And that'll help us to understand maybe some of the context of what the Minister and the other guys have been talking about.
شكرا لك. بالنسبة لأوغندا دولة كلها فيها إثارة مثيرة بكل تفاصيلها. أنا كرجل سابقا قبل لا يتم تعييني من قبل حكومة أوغندا كمستشار الخاص لها في مجال التجارة والاستثمار وعلاقات العمل الدولية، كرجل أعمال قمت بزيارة لها من 2016. من يوم تدخل الدولة الأوغندية تجد الترحيب، المساعدة، ثقافة الشعب مريحة جدا. كمستثمر إن أراد يذهب يستثمر في أي دولة يحتاج هذه النقاط الأساسية، إضافة إلى أنه القوانين، الضمانات أنت كمستثمر راح تجدها هناك في أوغندا، ما عندك أي مشكلة. ربما في بعض الدول اللي رحنا لها حنا كانت فيها صعوبة في التواصل مع الأجهزة الحكومية، في التواصل مع إعطائنا الضمانات، لكن في أوغندا أي مستثمر سواء سعودي ولا غير سعودي يحتاج أن يستثمر هناك سيجد كل الترحيب، كل الضمانات، كل التسهيلات. بلد غنية في عدة مجالات، مثلا الثروة الحيوانية كانت موجودة عندهم. اشتغلنا على الملف، الحمد لله عندنا الحكومة سمحت في استيراد الأغنام والحومات الموجودة. الآن في مستثمرين زاروا جمهورية أوغندا وتم التنسيق الاستيراد من عندهم، مثل مجال القهوة. لما كان رجل أعمال أو غيري ذهبوا إلى أوغندا وحبوا يستثمروا في مجال القهوة، كانت الإجراءات سهلة، كانت الأمور واضحة، الدعم من الحكومة من أعلى سلطة إلى أقل سلطة موجود عندهم يشجعون في الاستثمار. فأنا بالنسبة لنا كرجل أعمال أو من الزملاء اللي راحوا معي إلى أوغندا قاموا بزيارتها، كان الانطباع واحد، فيها مجالات كثيرة، التنوع الاقتصادي اللي عندهم، الأمن اللي عندهم، أعتقد هذا من أكبر عوامل المشجعة لأي رجل أعمال أو مستثمر حاب أن يستثمر في أوغندا حيجدها بكل ترحيب من قبل الحكومة. شكرا لكم.
Thank you for that. Ali, still with you, you mentioned some of the soft commodities like coffee and so on. What has the kingdom been doing, or has the kingdom been showing any interest in mineral development and investing in the Ugandan mining sector?
المجال التعدين الآن طبعا في شركات، احنا بالنسبة لنا هذا كان مؤتمر مهم جدا جدا، مهم لي أنا شخصيا قبل دعوة من رجال الأعمال لرحلة استكشاف مسألة المعادن. إن شاء الله بإذن الله عز وجل كان في ترتيب ولقاء مع أحد الأشخاص لو لديه الرغبة الجادة في مجال الاستثمار في مجال التعدين في أوغندا. كان هذا قبل يومين، وإن شاء الله لنا رحلة قريبة جدا بعد انتهاء المؤتمر هذا.
And that's both ways. That's going from the kingdom into Uganda, and also inviting some of the expertise that might be existing in Uganda back into the kingdom, perhaps.
صحيح. هذا إن شاء الله سيتم ترتيبه إن شاء الله بإذن الله ما بين حكومة جمهورية أوغندا والحكومة السعودية، وكان في عندنا اجتماع إن شاء الله مع وزير الصناعة الأستاذ بندر الخريف، وإن شاء الله سيكون هناك من بعض الخبراء في أوغندا سيكون لهم ترتيب لزيارة المملكة السعودية، وأيضا ممكن يكون الاستثمار مشترك ما بين المملكة وما بين جمهورية أوغندا في مجال التعدين.
Now, Moses, to you, you're a consultant also like Ali, but a consultant inside Uganda. Tell us a bit about what activity you've been seeing. Who's been coming into Uganda and investing in the mining sector there?
Thank you. For starters, Uganda, like most of Africa, is really open to business, and most of what we see in the media, especially the Western media, is this place is a no-go-to area, there are conflicts, there are this. But I can assure you, like Mr. Ali is coming over there, Africa is a safe place for your investment. So we're having a lot of good interest from the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia, from UAE, and all these other countries, trying to engage and connect back to Africa and to Uganda, especially in the minerals, driven, of course, by the energy transition. For sure, if we want to transition, you cannot do it without Uganda, you cannot do it without Africa. And we also recognize that there are concerns, and our colleagues from the government have been highlighting that when you bring in your money, you can be able to make money and take your money out. So this is what we're talking about, investment climate. Our president and country and government are really facilitating to ensure that our investors are comfortable, you're able to do your business seamlessly, but also that you're protected. We've always had these questions, what happens and all this. So on 13th of December last year, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni launched an investor protection portal, a one-stop center where that before you come to Uganda, you can do your due diligence. You can actually be able to come in there, make inquiries, you can get authentic information, you can be able to actually get feedback and all the support that you need. So it's a one-stop center whereby you get connected to our government agencies responsible, but you also be able to report and get your feedback. I just would like, Peter, if I could play a short video, just from the head of the unit and the how-to, because this is really what now shapes the tail end. You have now come.
My name is Kano Idris Nakarima Asuzwa. I head the State House Investors Protection Unit established by His Excellency Retired General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The Uganda Electronic Investors Protection Portal is a digital platform that empowers investors to get authentic information, make inquiries, report, verify, and receive feedback. The Electronic Investors Protection Portal serves all existing and prospective investors, both domestic and foreign, as well as the general public, through enabling whistleblowers to report any concerns about investing in Uganda. The electronic portal guides investors with important and necessary information on investing in Uganda. It also offers a quick reporting and enforcement mechanism while ensuring real-time feedback. The Uganda Electronic Investors Protection Portal gives you access to authentic information and resources that are designed to help you make informed investment decisions and avoid common pitfalls.
To access the portal, log on to protection.statehouseinvest.go.ug or visit our website www.statehouseinvest.go.ug. Email us on info@statehouseinvest.go.ug or call us on 0326 100630. Visit our office at Lumumba Avenue, Plot 51B, Nakasero Hill, Kampala, Uganda. The State House Investors Protection Unit, empowering investors.
That's great.
So our idea is that we believe our investors need to be empowered across the value chain, starting with the ones who are coming for the minerals, but also all the others. With this in place, you can actually be able to start your journey before you come to Uganda. And while you're in Uganda, it's just at your fingertips to be able to actually access this information, because that's the key. So you know where to go, who to go to, and in case you meet a challenge, we recognize that we have different cultural challenges, different cultural languages, and all these things, but we have one place for which. So in just 56 seconds, Peter, allow me just show I see people shaking their heads, meaning they actually want to start accessing, because this platform is actually ready, and we welcome you. Thank you.
Great. So that gives me a lot of excitement now to get investing or to go and visit Uganda, and I'm looking forward to getting that all expenses paid trip from you later on. Minister, you put your hand up. Did you want to say something?
Thank you very much. We had a discussion in Cabinet on these issues of incentives. Some people were saying, why do you exempt this equipment and so? The reason of the head of the state was, when these people are bringing their equipment for processing our raw materials and so on, they are not going to sell the equipment, so they are not really for begging in a business. It is to bring out what we want to sell, and that's the way we get the profits. So when you are coming out and you are saying you are importing this, those ones are zero rated, which is very good indeed. Then of course, the discovery of Uganda now, you see, this issue of transition has opened a new phase, a new world order. The other time we were saying fossil, we didn't care. Now we are saying we are transitioning. And the things to facilitate the transitions are there, the enabling environment to go in. And that's why we came for this meeting. And according to my observation, I'm very, very appreciative. We are in fact not far from each other. Just you cross some of these seas, you are there. And people of these countries are in Uganda. Uganda is a place where anybody can be. The environment is very good. When I grew up, I found businessmen from these countries, Saudi Arabia, they are there in Uganda. So these things are now giving us another way of entering Uganda. We have come here, no difficulties, just come to the country the way Ali came. He came there looking for coffee. And when he came here, there, he's making very good opportunities. The coffee of Uganda is here. We have the best coffee called Arabica coffee by our name. It is grown on mountains, very, very nice, and there are other types of coffees. And then we extend to other products available, either agricultural or the mineral area like this one, which you are desperate to develop. So for you who want to come and engage in minerals, some of us are here, my commissioner is there, I am here, plus other colleagues. You will be welcome, and we want to see these things exploited. Your profits are repatriated, there is no restriction. So it's a really free economy. I thank you.
Good on you. So, Vincent, I'm interested, you had a list of large mining licenses,
How to use
medium,
the
small,
EIPP.
and others. What's the split? You know, where is the talent? Where is the investment going into mining? Is it in the small, or do we get up into the big projects?
Thank you very much. You see, we started saying all people who have the money come. But the minerals are spread in the villages, up country. Even the small miners say now, how do we come in? We're just watching. Why don't we participate? We said, all right, let us categorize. If you want a small area for you also to benefit and sell to the majors, it doesn't matter. This scale comes from here to there, so that the people are not deprived of what they are supposed to do. Otherwise, there will be disharmony in a country. Then we say those with large money can come and start from here. They are even given a wider area. Then those with no much, you are even given another bigger area so that you really produce. So it is to involve everybody to do some activity for harmony. So you don't envy anybody. That's what we are trying to do. Yeah. And we have made that law so that we harmonize and the people are enjoying it. Those who thought would be excluded, we say, no, you can also have a small area, be with us, be with the government, so that they are friendly to the members of the larger community. Those are the big miners. So we find we are all participating. It is purpose of all inclusiveness.
Maybe just to supplement what the minister has just said, for FDI, foreign direct investment, we are looking at investments. Any investment in excess of 300,000 USD is welcome to Uganda. Like I said, the artisanal and small-scale mining licenses are exclusively for Ugandans. And it's just to allow them to progress from one level to another with minimal regulation. But for FDI, we're looking at investments of 300,000 USD and above. So if you fit in that category, there is no other restriction really. You can fit within the medium scale or large scale, depending on your capital threshold. So if you have between 300,000 USD to 100 million, you are inevitably in the medium scale category. If you have investments higher than $100 million, then you are large scale. That is and all the projects have investments, really. We have both those that fit in the medium scale and those that fit in the large scale. And importantly, we also have projects in the artisanal and small scale mining space who are willing to partner with other investors so that they can also, then you can go to another category, maybe medium or large, depending on your capital investment. Thank you.
I think anyone that was at our South African discussion, I brought up a discussion I had with a guest at the gala dinner last night who was from another African country, and he wasn't very enthusiastic about large-scale mining in his country. He said, you know, we used to have a big mountain here and now we've got a big hole in the ground. And he was talking about community tension and resistance. You've got a beautiful country from your video. I'm so impressed with the natural environment that you've got in Uganda. What's the community attitude to mining projects, and what difficulties or what issues might a foreign company coming into your country expect to have to deal with?
You see, when you have laid your legislation properly, like us, we have got different departments of government. We have got what we call NEMA, National Environment Authority. Those ones, when you are applying for a fragile area, we also, before we give you, we have to be clear on the mining methods and whether if it is what, it is a swamp. Now we say, no, this one cannot. You move the other side. You don't just come and erect anything anywhere in a fragile area. Otherwise, the environment, it is not restricted. If we spoil it in Uganda, it will spoil the other parts of the world as well, because the environmental issues cut across. So we have laws even doing that one, and we are doing very well. Because even in a beautiful country, you cannot just enjoy beauty, the trees, what have you. Yes, there must be an area where these things are, and they must be exploited. And the methods are there. So all those roles, that's why it is good all the time to have a very sound legislative framework. So you find things are easy. Yeah.
If you want me to supplement, maybe I would say that in many mining forums we've discussed this issue of how to engage communities for mining purposes. You see, normally what happens is that if you come in and you engage the community from the beginning, then you'd have a social license to operate. It's very important. In Uganda, there's some good projects, like the Rare Earth project, for example. They came in from the beginning, from exploration. They kept on engaging the community. When it came to now applying for a mining license after the feasibility study, it was a very easy process. People are even willing to give you right of access without paying money up front, because sometimes capital is raised through equity and so on. So people are willing to sign those because they've understood the project and they're in support of the project. A few instances where there are challenges, of course, is when this kind of collaboration is lacking. If you do not engage the communities early enough, then it becomes difficult to engage them later on, especially when they feel that you've abused their rights. And I'm sure that this is not unique to Uganda only. I know it is common all over the world for mining projects. Thank you.
I wonder if there's any questions from the floor. Does anybody like to get... yes, please. Yep.
Thank you so much. My name is Syed Muaz Shah, and I'm actually representing the Islamic Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. Uganda is, of course, a member of the OIC, and therefore vis-a-vis also a member of the Islamic Chamber of Commerce. The OIC has a very special relationship with Uganda. I was just speaking with your representative here earlier before the start of this, and it is about talent and mining talent development. And I actually wanted to pose that question to the panel. Where are we in Uganda? We had the Minerals Commissioner from Ghana speaking about how the Ghanaians have almost 100 years of mining experience, and how Ghanaian mining experts have went to Australia, trained themselves through the experience, and came back and benefited the country. So one of the interesting things is the OIC actually has a university in Uganda, and a project proposal that we're working with Madin on trying to develop a mining talent and see how we can collaborate on that. So I wanted to actually get insight from the panelists. I don't know who would be most appropriate to tell me about what is the status of the mining talent in Uganda, because we would like to develop the human resources within the country instead of importing them from outside. Of course, that's a step-by-step process, but I'd like some insight on that.
It's very important.
Thank you. We have an expert here. The commissioner is a geologist who has not only studied in Uganda, studied outside, and he knows how we are building the human resource capacities. So, Commissioner, talk about your, if there is any knowledge you have.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Well, in terms of capacity, one, we have some Ugandan institutions. Our universities, for example, there's Makerere University, I could say our premier university, which mostly handles specialties in geology and geosciences, including petroleum geoscience. And then we have other universities like Busitema, specialized universities, who train on engineering, especially mining engineering and related courses. We also have collaborations, for example, like rightly said, in Australia. Most of us also trained in Australia. Even some of us worked partly in Australia. And so we continue to engage. We take people to study. Even in the UK, we have some in Canada. We take some of them to train as well there. However, there is a very important aspect of mining that we often neglect. Those who are doing the semi-skilled to unskilled labor, which is a critical part of mining, apprenticeships and so forth. And that is key. That is where the gap is. In Uganda, we've tried to work with the Ministry of Education to design a curriculum. It is still under implementation, it's still being promulgated. Like the Minister said, the mining industry has been nascent. It is being revived. And so we're working with the Ministry of Education to design a curriculum that would work for some institutions that have earmarked to pioneer those apprenticeships programs. However, we have a mine that decided to design or support a school and to upgrade an institute to become a training school for people who are doing those semi-skilled, important aspects of mining, like in welding, driving, in some aspects of mechanical engineering and so forth. So they're being trained now by that institute. But we welcome collaborations. I hadn't heard about this before. I am happy to really encourage you to engage with us and the Ministry of Education so that we can progress this effort, and we have one win already with our collaboration with the Islamic University, Islamic Chamber of Commerce. So this is an opportunity we have to take back home, and I want to say that let's engage further and progress this. Thank you.
Maybe I could add and say there is what they say, social corporate responsibility of companies. If a company came there and wants special skills, we also say, as you come, we give you our engineers. If you think we can say you can take them for further training, specialized areas, because they already know, but there are special areas we want them to know. We encourage that company to do that, and most of them have done it. So, of course, general schools are there of geology, but there are specific areas. When at the time, of course, oil was there and we discovered the oil, the president had to ask whether we had any oil experts. We didn't have. The person who said was a oil expert, we discovered was working in the Bank of Uganda from Cameroon. In fact, he was an economist who was responsible for importing fuel. And he thought he was now a fuel expert. And they discovered, no, he's not. So what the president did, he asked geologists who were there. Some were nominated and taken to various parts of the world. They finished. When they came, the people who moved together with other people who came to identify areas and quantify reservoirs, and now we have experts working together in that direction. Even here, where we think we are deficient, and yet our geology college was started. It is one of the longest universities, Makerere University. You must have been hearing it among others, like you can hear from any other place. So there really we are flexible to say if you don't have the sufficient human resource, can attach you, they take them out, or they can learn on the job and give the knowledge transfer. But we are also developing institutes, specialist institute. One has already been developed. The things we see which I think are simpler, the welding of certain pipes for certain commodities, gas and so on, you need the most expert. We are also doing that. So as you come, I think you will find those things, those areas available. Experts are there now. They are just waiting for employment. Yeah.
Any other questions from the floor? Yes, please, madam. Wait for the microphone.
Thank you, moderator. I'm Dr. Rokhaya Samba from Senegal. I'm the General Manager of the Geological Survey and President of the Organization of African Geological Surveys. And Uganda is our vice for the Eastern region. My question was about local content. How did you implement it in Uganda, local content policy in the mining sector? Thank you.
So I can then give over to the commissioner. Though I have stayed also in this ministry for a long time, at times I answer as if I'm an expert. Can you please talk about our local content, which we have already developed?
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Now, in terms of local content, especially in my presentation, I alluded to two categories of licenses being exclusively for Ugandan citizens. That is the artisanal mining license and the medium and the small-scale mining license. So that's a form of local content in terms of encouraging the locals to participate directly in mining. Now, when it comes to local content in regard to FDI, we have partnerships. We are promoting partnerships. These local artisans, these local small-scale miners can be able to partner with FDI investors to put in more money and scale up. They can have a small share. You can find the business has become bigger. Maybe the FDI partner is the managing partner, but they're shareholders, and that's local content. When it comes to other aspects of mining, like, for example, employment, we are critical in making sure that, of course, initially, because in some projects and in some minerals, the skills are very rare. So sometimes you may need to bring in expert. The investor may need to bring in expert. But progressively, over the life of the mine, we want to see more and more Ugandans employed. And usually in the licenses we issue, we make sure that that is very well defined. In the first 5 years, we expect, of course, you can bring in experts. But as the experts work, ensure that they train as many Ugandans as possible. So that, for example, after 10 years of employment, we should be having over 90% of the employment in the business Ugandan citizens. In terms of provision of services, we wanted to give priority to Ugandan goods and services. For example, there's a habit. How do you go and procure, for example, corn from, say, China or from Brazil for meals in the farm? Why don't you empower our local Ugandans to produce the corn that you need in the mine? So some of those are there are several other things, but those are the shared use of infrastructure is another one we're critical about. Ensure that as you develop the infrastructure, it should also benefit the local communities. And we are going to do that through community development agreements, so that it's very clear that the locals are also going to benefit, and this local content. And this fits into a social license to operate, so that your business and the community are in synergy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I gave him because our mineral law is very recent, and maybe luckily enough I was down driving it. You see in local content, You have got direct services, which are linked to the industry, and there are also indirect services, which he has mentioned. How can you say when you are coming there, you set up a camp, and you are importing foods to feed the people from abroad? Want to see what type of menu you have? It can be provided there. If it is not there, of course you have been there. For you Africans, what else can you eat? And even here. Then we say these are the things. In fact, people start getting money if you have good local content before even a product is found. Like with us with oil, we say indirect services, services to bring your equipment from the coast of Mombasa to Uganda. You don't need a driver, he's from there. A local company is not providing a service. The oil has not been seen, but the money is going to the people. We encourage people what type of foods you eat, greens people have grown, and they are giving these people. So once the local content side is well drawn, it is so good. Then you find even welding. You go to some institution, people are done, they do these things which provide direct there. Then later, of course, when products are coming out, there is a formula on which some little goes to the people down there, and it is already agreed, written, and before you take over the work, you know what you are supposed to do. So the money starts being eaten by locals so long as you have embedded enshrined a very sound processes in which they are involved. You get the money early.
There was, we've been given the wind-up signal, but there was one question. If you could ask a very quick question, and we get the panelist, whoever answers it, we give a very quick answer. So.
All right, thank you. I'm Dr. Cosmos Kujo from the Ministry of Mining, South Sudan. Recently, there was an announcement of the discovery of a huge gold reserves in northern Uganda. Can you just shed the light on that, because we are your neighbors, and that will encourage us, as you said, geology does not know borders, then that will encourage us also to come close to that border. Thank you.
Commissioner, tell him, since you showed where those things are.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cosmas. That's a very good question, because South Sudan is our immediate neighbor to the north. Kenya is our immediate neighbor to the east. DRC is our immediate neighbor to the west. So, Tanzania and Rwanda are our immediate neighbors to the south. So really, when you talk minerals in all those regions and you have somebody sandwiched in the middle, you'd find that usually they have a multitude of all those minerals. So it is true, there have been discoveries of gold in Uganda. In the eastern part of the country, there is a big discovery, and we intend to actually commission that mine very early this year, before mid this year, hopefully. It's going to be a large-scale mine for gold, and the reserves are quite huge. And they've only done exploration over 10% of the area we've given them, and they've discovered at least 30 million tons of mineable gold ore. So that alone is feasible enough for them to establish the plan, and that's why they've gone into mine development. They still have the other 90% of the area to explore, and all the indications are positive results. In the neighborhood, we have other companies who are also mining gold. And then, of course, we have other areas. You saw in the mineral currencies map, which can be replayed, you would see that gold is the commonest mineral. Almost every region of the country is mining gold. I will tell a story. One day, local citizens were going for burial. So they were digging a grave. It has happened about 7 times. They are digging a grave. The grave is only about 6-7 feet. And then they discover a nugget of gold. And then there is no more burial. Everyone is going for a shovel or a hoe. And that becomes a mine. And I want to say that is the story of many of our small-scale mines. And so across the country. So really, we are gold rich as a country, and as a region as well. I want to say even our neighbors have the mineral, but we are also gold rich. And that's why Uganda increasingly, especially in the Middle East here, most of the gold is transiting from Uganda because they have the discoveries. We have about 10 gold refineries that are set up in the country to refine gold. Of course, some of them source from the region as well, but most of them are dealing in Ugandan gold. So the opportunities again in the gold, actually that's the middle where you can give you concessions in any part of the country and you're likely to succeed because gold is quite common in Uganda. Thank you.
Maybe he's my neighbor. You look at that Karamoja area. It has gold. It has good stones, limestones for making cement. We are opening a factory near there. If you go around Lotuke, that's the mountain of yours in the south, Toriti area, you will find so many minerals around there. So if you went, please come and consult. We shall give you more stories about us in that area. Kitugum area. Now when you are talking about the graphite and so on, and the hills continue to your side, you will get those things there. Thank you.
Okay, so we better wind up. I'm getting a lot of signals that we've gone way over time. So please thank our panelists and they look forward to seeing you in Uganda. And Ali will be very happy to take any inquiries if you're here in Saudi. And we look forward to hearing more positive things next year from Uganda when we come back to FMF. Before you go, this is the last session before lunch. Please enjoy your lunch. The next session will start at 2 o'clock, and it's the most important one after Uganda. It'll be the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will be making their presentation. So please feel most welcome to come and join us there. Enjoy your lunch, and thank you for coming.